Dimke, Lauren Smith, and Jaylee Winters. We will start with a statement from head coach Kirsten Bernthal Booth.
That was the best match I've ever been a part of. I first want to start with Kansas. You know, Ray has been a mentor to me and someone that is a good friend, and I enjoy their entire staff. And it's the way I felt last night with you and I, that I hate that someone's season ends because, I mean, a match like that, it could have gone either way. And hats off to them on a phenomenal season. And I know, you know, to some degree we're playing with house money, and I think the pressure is tough. I thought they obviously gave us everything that we could handle, and but it's surreal. We made our first Sweet 16 last year, and that was pretty incredible, but this one definitely is even bigger because KU is 5th in the country, and to do it on their home court with such a great atmosphere. And I alluded to this last night. In the preseason, in those situations, we got tentative, and we went for it tonight. And had we lost, I said this in the locker room, I would have been so proud of the way we played. It would have killed us, I think. But we went for it, and that's a huge step for this team and this program. And against great teams, you've got to. So I'm a little bit of a recording from last night on that front, but I still think I'm a little bit in shock. But we are really excited to move on, and it was an incredible match. And hats off to Kansas.
Questions for the student athletes first.
The player, just take us through celebrating. You know, you guys rushed the court, you thought it was over. You see them get together, you kind of have that whole, what we imagine from an adrenaline dump, then you have to kind of reset and do it all over again. I guess what went through all of your minds and how you were able to reset that and still come up with a victory?
I think, we did touch it, not gonna lie. So
I didn't know that when I was complaining.
We were kind of expecting the ball to come back, so I think just no matter what happened or what the call was, we were just gonna refresh our mind. And we've been saying all year long that this team is really mature. So I think to be able to get on such a high like we just won and then get brought back down, we just really stuck together, and we play so well together. And our maturity and our confidence, we knew that no matter if we won it on that point, we were gonna win it again.
Yeah, Lydia actually took us into the huddle as they were deciding whether we had touched it or not. And she just really calmed everyone down and just told us either way, you know, we're going to come back and we're going to win this. So she was a really great leader in that point. So thank you for doing that.
Lauren, this one looked a little more emotional than last year's. I mean, obviously with the way the match played out, probably had an effect on that being that it was kind of in doubt in the end versus what it looked like in Chapel Hill. What was your reaction to, you know, getting it accomplished, and how did you feel those emotions?
Well, I try not to think about the fact it's my last year, but I just really trust my teammates, and we play so well together. We really believed that we were going to win, and we went after it. And I'm so proud of the way that the girls, not only on the court but off the court, just our chemistry together is something I can't explain. And I knew no matter what happened tonight, we were going to stick together. So.
Early in the season, you know, you guys played Kansas in a 5-set match in Omaha, and it was the different result. What was the difference to come back in this game and beat Kansas here?
I think we were pretty pumped when we saw that we were coming to Kansas. I know a lot of people could be like, ooh, Kansas is a hard draw. We were like, yeah, we want to come back and beat them, and we want to do it in fashion on their home court. So I think we were really excited, and we remembered that. I mean, that game was a tough loss that we've remembered all season, so we were not going to let it happen again.
Yeah, I would just say all of our experiences and everything we've gone through as a team, all our wins and our losses have really just brought us all to this point, to the point where we had enough confidence to know that we could do it. So I really think that the confidence and belief was what set us apart tonight.
I guess after the non-conference season ended, just when we talked through, you seemed more confident in every matchup you guys had dropped. You felt more confident if you had gotten a rematch against those teams. I know that you know, this team is really confident, but what is it specifically that made you come out of those matches where you lost late to good teams, saying if we get a rematch, it'll be
Yeah, I think all of those losses were really that we lost to ourselves, not to the other team, and that's why we took all those losses really hard, because we knew that we could beat those teams if we played within ourselves, and I think that's what we did tonight.
Jaylee, through 5 tournament games, you have almost 20 kills per game. How are you able to have such an impact in tournament games through not very many experienced games?
The way I've prepared for every match and every practice is that this is a championship game. Every match and every time I touch the ball is so important to me, and I would just want to continue to do that.
Take 2 more for the student athletes.
How different was today in resetting for Game 5 versus yesterday? I mean, I know you're Northern Iowa and Creighton yesterday was more of a neutral environment. Today, when you lose Game 4, Kansas has a lot of momentum. The crowd is on their side. What was the difference in resetting for Game 5 today versus yesterday?
Yeah, I actually thought it was kind of similar just because we knew we were going to lose that 4th match, and then we just had a reset for the 5th game. But yeah, they're on their home court. They have all the momentum in the world, and we knew that we just needed to come out quick and shut them down. I think they got off to a 5-0 run in the 4th set, so we really just knew that we needed to not let them do that at the beginning, and we'd be good.
I mean, Kansas is an amazing team, as you can tell out there that it was really close. And I think we knew that when we were up 2-1, they were not going to roll over. So we kind of expected them to come out in the 4th game. Same thing as yesterday with UNI, both great teams, and they really challenged us. So we just had to mentally reset. And like Jaylee said, it was kind of the same. We were just taking a game off in the 4th for, I don't know why, saving our energy for the 5th, make it more exciting. But just wipe it away, reset, and get ready for the 5th.
When does celebration become preparation for Michigan?
Right away.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now. So.
All right, thanks, ladies.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Questions for Coach Booth?
Kirsten, what does it say about the competitive spirit of both of these teams that you have 2 matches like you had?
Well, first of all, I think it's unfortunate we hit so early. I think Kansas should be moving on. I feel like we're a team that deserves to move on. But I think Kansas, we've always known as a team of winners. To go 8-0 in 5th games all season tells you that they know how to win. I mean, I have to guess in the huddle, Coach Bouchard was saying, this is our wheelhouse. This is where we're comfortable. And fortunately, I think we've developed into winners. I think the great thing was both teams went for it. I think at any high level of any sport, you want to win it rather than have someone lose it, and I think that happened tonight.
Coach, do you feel like there was a sort of almost a sea change in terms of your program with the breakthrough last year? I mean, you had to go to North Carolina and win on their home court, had a good match against USC. Did that change maybe the overall mentality?
I think it absolutely did. I think what we've learned in the last 2 years and through our non-con is we now believe we can beat anyone in the country. I think before it was we hope we can beat anyone in the country. When we lost to USC, they were #1 in the country. They didn't win the national championship, obviously. KU upset them. But they were #1, and we felt like we had opportunities there. So that drove us during the off season. As you know, Jaylee's highly competitive. She didn't talk for like 48 hours after that loss. She was so upset about that. And then I think the non-con was huge for us. Kansas was #4 when we play them. We lose 15-13 in the 5th. Of course, that's a match that can go either way. We had 2 set points to go up 2-1 on #1 Nebraska. And those are huge moments for a young group that's trying to take that next step to say, hey, we can compete with these top teams. It doesn't matter what the name of their jersey is on the back. But Creighton can play with the big dogs, and I think last year paid dividends to that.
Coach, you mentioned Jaylee yourself. She had, like I said, 20 kills in 5 tournament games. What does she bring to the tournament, and how can she, in so few experience of games, bring what she does?
I have a philosophy of a winner's a winner. Britt Witt, our freshman libero, the kid's a winner, Jaylee was a winner when she walked in the door. I'll never forget a text I got from Jaylee in high school. They'd lost a game like 15-13 in the 5th, and she'd made an error. And I said, great match. And she said, no, I got to make that play. That's my job. So this is a kid that wants the ball at end game. steps up and is going to go for it. And it doesn't always happen, but a good percent of the time she's going to get it done, and she did tonight. I was thrilled that at endgame she was in the front row again, because she's going to make plays.
What's going through your mind? Obviously, Lydia knows. I mean, she said she knew that they touched it, so there was probably an overturn coming that she could calm the troops. What's, from your perspective, having to deal with the letdown, then the build back?
It was hard. I did not think they touched it. I thought we'd won it, and I have seen that happen so many times, and a team gets rattled and we lose the next point immediately. If I had a timeout, I would have taken it. I did not have a timeout. But I told them in the locker room, I'm yelling, and the team turns to me, a couple of the players are like, we got this. Like, they're calming me down in that situation. Again, a maturity standpoint for them, and they did. And then we nailed the pass, and I think it was a first ball kill, if I recall, but I have no memory. So I could be wrong on that.
I guess Marissa Wilkinson kind of is a player who maybe lost in the shuffle isn't a fair assessment, but I mean, with all the offensive parity you have, it's easy to kind of overlook certain players. How big was she this weekend? I mean, just from an efficiency standpoint.
Yeah, she was incredible. She carried us a lot last night, and then she was a huge factor again tonight. She's so versatile. Hers goes back to the off season. Her vertical's up. She's just incredible shape, and it's fun to see a kid that, our season started in January, and people that commit to the process, this is how you reap rewards on matches like this.
Coach, what do you expect out of Michigan in the Sweet 16 and I think Austin?
It is in Austin. I don't know much about Michigan. I know that they've got a stud middle, Abby Cole, who is a former teammate with Kinsey Crawford, one of our defensive specialists. So that'll be fun. They're good friends. I know Mark's a great coach, and they've played the rigors of a Big Ten schedule. So we will dive into that immediately. We are thrilled for the opportunity. I've been to Austin, but I've not played at Texas. So, I think we'll take tonight off, and we will dive in tomorrow.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
If anybody needs more, we can do it in the hallway.
Are those yours, sir? Sir? Excuse me. Are those yours? I just didn't know if... Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Guess I get two of them.
I will have an opening statement from Coach Bouchard, and open it up for questions for the student athletes.
I guess if you were a casual volleyball fan and you just wandered across the Horry Center tonight, you would have thought something pretty special was going on. I'm not sure how many neutral fans are in there tonight, but that was a special atmosphere. It was a special effort from both teams. And I'm just proud as I could be of our group. Obviously, we're pretty devastated that we couldn't flip the score. But probably more than anything, I'm going to really, really miss my relationship with these three young ladies and all they've meant for us and what we've tried to do. At some point, we'll reflect back on 27-3 sounds pretty good, but right now it just hurts a little bit. But I thought we were really good in the fourth set, the fifth set. We just didn't get the break we needed, or we didn't create the breaks we needed. So congratulations to Creighton. They played an unbelievable match, and Coach Bernthal Booth's done an outstanding job there, and their team will represent, I think, our pot of teams very well.
We'll go ahead with questions for Cassie Wade, Taylor Susie, and Maggie Anderson, please.
Nancy, how big of the momentum switches in this whole match? You guys would win a set pretty convincingly. You did in the fourth set, and then in the fifth set, it was just back and forth, every point.
We talk a lot about controlling the first contact. Any team that served tougher and passed better was going to be in control of the momentum the whole game. And we talk a lot about side out percentage, point scoring percentage, and it was really close to where we wanted to be, but that 1% made the difference. And that's what we're talking about here. Is just who had the momentum a little bit longer in the match, and they got us this time.
So, question for all three of you. So you were Big 12 outright champs this season, Final Four last season, and a total of 103 wins. What does that mean to you?
I think that's what makes it hurt the most, is the people that we've had around us. It's made it so special. And the fun we've had, the moments we've created, knowing that we've helped make this program better, and that we hope that in the future it continues to do what we've been trying to do.
I think the word we came up with is bittersweet, because the things you listed, we can't complain about that stuff. Coach said it just hurts a little bit right now.
Maggie, the Creighton coach said it's unfortunate that you guys had to meet this early in the tournament. Do you kind of feel that way when you're both that good?
I mean, we've played Creighton quite a bit in my career. I know a handful of the girls. We have a great relationship. But when we saw Creighton was coming to Lawrence, we were excited. We were excited that we got to play them again.
How were you guys feeling going into the fifth set? You're 8-0 in fifth sets this year and had to feel pretty confident you could pull out a win after doing it so many times.
Yeah, we talked about how all year the fifth set was our match. We typically got out to an early lead, and they were a good team. They were tough to stop when we were trying to point score, and they sided out really well. And I think, again, we talk about controlling the first contact, and we felt really good. We were pumped going into that set, but it was all about who's going to pass better, who's going to serve tougher.
Any other questions for our student athletes? Ladies, thank you.
Thank you.
Questions for Coach Bouchard?
Coach, how do you move forward in this?
Great question. We just talked a little bit about what do we learn from this. There's times in practice in the middle of October it gets monotonous and you try to do a pressure serving drill. I said, Addie Berry, you understand what a pressure serving drill is now? And at 14-12 and your season's on the line, you're back there serving, that's a pressure serving drill. And we do a drill called 20=40 where defensively you got to step up and make it happen, and it's a hard drill to get. And, you know, they get frustrated when they don't get it because we have to do it again. But we needed one stop defensively when we were serving, and Creighton had all the answers. But I will say, I think the question was well put. This felt more like a regional final than a second-round match. With the energy in the end, the teams were both playing at a high level. I mean, you combine, I guess, how many wins we had and how many they had. What was it, like 35, 36, 40 in a row? And, but our fifth set magic, we just didn't make enough plays. But there's a lot of lessons to learn in it, in that we tipped a couple balls in the fifth set when you always want to be aggressive. We missed some key serves. So hopefully this will resonate as we move into the spring, and we'll gain some opportunity from it.
Coach, can you maybe walk us just through the scene in the locker room after the match? Maybe who spoke up, what was said, things like that.
We gave him a few minutes, but obviously it was pretty quiet when we got in there. I mean, Cassie Waite, she can't talk because she left it all on the floor. Maggie Anderson got her K-ring the other day, and she came up to Coach Bird and I, and she said, most everybody gets their initials or their number inside their K-ring. You got four symbols you can use. And she said, I used MDCT. And she just looks at us. And I said, MDCT? She said, yeah, my dream came true. I mean, what do you tell a kid after a match like that that feels that way about your program and your school? And Taylor Susie just works and works and works. So I think the team realized it's going to be difficult without those three individuals in our program. I think that's what they were feeling. And I'm sad in the fact that I loved being around this group. That's what I told them before we started the four set. Hey, I love you guys. Let's go have some fun. And yeah, we'll look back at 27-3 at some point, but I feel very conflicted about wanting to say what a great year it was when in fact most people would look at it that way, but this team certainly had every intent to play longer.
Ray, what was maybe your concerns going into the fifth set? That fourth set was pretty easy for you guys. You really rolled through that, but you knew they'd have something.
Yeah, I mean they're going to have a response, and they did. And we had some opportunities. You forget you remember the plays at 14-all, 15-all, 16-all, but there's plays at 4-3 and 5-4 that are just as big. And like I said, we're a little out of character that we tipped some balls. We weren't as aggressive as we needed to be. And you got to play clean in the fifth set. You got to play clean. You can get away with a little bit of sloppy in the 25-point game, but they were a little cleaner than us. And that's a good team, guys. Creighton's a very, very good team.
When they reversed that call, did you think they were looking for?
Yeah, it was the right. I mean, there was an obvious touch. You get a little nervous without the challenge review system, but yeah, that should have gave us some momentum. I don't remember, Gary, what happened right after that, but obviously we didn't do enough. But it was the right call. You wouldn't want to end a match on something like that. But give Creighton credit, man. They had the answer every time you turned around. They were making a play.
Are there any other questions for Coach Bouchard?
Thanks. You guys have been great.